We're all good.
So much better. Are you guys sitting on stained chairs or?
I'm even worse, Howie. I probably am. I'm sitting in a hotel room.
Oh,
No, you're not.
Howard, he is in a hotel room in West Virginia. I'd have to imagine that's like the last place on earth you'd want to be.
Why? Why are you in a hotel?
I'm here. I had to come to West Virginia to film a video at a racetrack. So this morning I was talking to jockeys and interviewing horses, and now I'm sitting in a hotel room. And I was actually working out, not to brag, working out before this, and I was thinking how much you must hate that. Like I was washing my hands every time I touched a dumbbell or anything.
I just watched you take your finger out of your ear and put it near your mouth.
I was moving my hair, Howie.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
No, you weren't. You were like the first guy I thought about when the world went to hell. And I was thinking how much of a disaster coronavirus and quarantine would be for you. But then I also thought maybe not, because you're the most prepared guy in the world for this, right?
Well, I'm not. I am a mess, and I'll be totally honest with you. And the nightmare. Every time I've been on your show, we talked about my own personal nightmare. But it was a nightmare, and it's what I've lived every day of my waking life in my own head. But then I wake up, and then I come to places like your place where you have filthy chairs and you're living and striving. But then, in March or February, we woke up and it wasn't such a nightmare. So welcome to my world, people.
Were you not happy that other people were nervous too, but were you kind of like, you see, this is what I always deal with?
No, because I did take comfort in other people just laughing at me and being able to thrive and telling me I'm more comfortable with people thinking I'm an idiot than it's scarier feeling like maybe that's the way everybody should live. I don't like that. It feels more uncomfortable now. Through telehealth, I've moved my therapist into a whole other tax bracket.
I have a question about the telehealth therapy, because guess what? I've stopped doing it because I'm too nervous that someone's going to be recording me. I don't trust them. You're good trust.
That's why I drew the line at the self-prostate check.
I throw those out, but not on camera.
Well, that's just for fun. That's not even medical. That's just a Tuesday afternoon.
Does it feel like it's enlarged? I go, yeah. He goes, does it feel like it's is it tender to the touch? And I go, yeah. And he goes, did I say put a glove on? And I go, no.
So what else is cooking, man? I know you got this new Quibi show.
My wife is cooking. Wife is cooking, and she's not good at it. And I've lost 20 pounds.
Have you really?
I really have. I've lost 20 pounds.
Awesome. I've actually been exercising, and I've lost exactly 0 pounds. I've exercised like every single day. Every day I've just wavered between like 208 and 211. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stop. It doesn't change.
Well, what do you call exercise? The fact that you sat up? Like,
that's the start of the day.
Yeah. Listen, we don't exercise shame here. Everyone's got their own, hill to climb. If he's getting out of bed, he's getting out of bed, Howard. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I know, but he says he's been exercising every day and he hasn't lost it. Well, I don't think exercise necessarily is for weight. I think that eating is what I've lost a lot of weight, and not purposely.
I don't know. Yeah, you didn't need it. You didn't need to.
I didn't need this, and that's what I keep saying. I told my wife, though, the good news is when we come out of this, I wanted to write a cookbook. I told her it's a cookbook, but I'm going to change the cover when it gets published to a diet book, because everything she makes goes right through you like too fast.
Oh my God.
Howie, we are in Howie's butt today. We got
again, it's my theme.
Tell me about Kirby Jenner, because it sounds like a fantastic plot and major characters involved, a lot of heavy hitter producers like yourself. It seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it's on Quibi right now. Kirby Jenner came to our attention on Instagram, and Kirby Jenner, for those that don't know that might be listening, is the lesser known Jenner, Kendall's fraternal twin, and he is just amazing. He is the star of his own show, and along with Kendall and Chris and the whole Kardashian clan and me and a lot of friends, you could see the life of her fraternal twin, which has not been exposed. It's the only part of the Jenner Kardashian clan that had little exposure except on Instagram. that he's now in all his glory on Quibi.
Now, I have a lot of questions about for both the show and like what filming a show for Quibi is like. Like, how does that happen? Because just with the upright view and stuff, it must be a completely different filming experience.
Because of why? Why
because
would it be different?
How it's watched, like upright on the phone.
Oh, I didn't feel like it was any different. You can watch it upright on the phone. You could turn it. Quibi has it whatever way. We just shot it like a regular show. What's amazing about it, without giving too much away, is, and go check them out on Instagram and you'll see what it is. We're able to Photoshop him into scenes that were already pre-shot on the Kardashians, and you could see like a little behind the scenes. So we add to it, but we shot it regularly. We shot it in, so that it could play on television, it could play in a theater, and it could play on Quibi. But now Quibi is the only place to see it.
Those are photoshopped. Those scenes, like where he's talking to Kim and she says he's like the best kept secret.
I think it's hard for me to remember which one she was actually there, but most of them, everything that you see on Instagram, they are not there.
Wow.
So they're absolutely brilliant at being able to insert themselves in storylines that already existed and then just twist them into a sick, funny, comedic way. But that's what they've been able to do. But, as it turned out, we became fans of his, my company and me. And we wanted to do a show. And I reached out to the Kardashians because my kids actually grew up with them, and not Kendall, with Khloe and Courtney. But so I reached out to Chris, and it turns out they were big fans, and Kendall loved it. So we said to Kendall, do you want to come with me and let's sell this show? And Kendall and me and McG, who's also the other producer on it, just went into these rooms. We went to Quibi. Quibi was about to launch, they just started buying things. And we loved that format. These are 7-minute little nuggets. And so they've loved it so much that even though it just premiered a couple of weeks ago on Quibi, they just ordered another season. So
no kidding.
Excited about that.
Nice. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Had you done anything professionally with the Jenners or Kardashians? Sounds like you kind of knew them in regular life, but was this your first time working with them?
No, I've worked with them before. I had a show on TBS called Deal With It, where people wore an earpiece, and one unknown person was at a restaurant or on a date. Yep. And Kylie and Kendall were on that with us. Chris has been very accommodating. I've known them for years and years. They're actually, they were neighbors before they were even on TV. Bruce was the guy that was on TV.
Were they neighbors at the house that Kim surprised? Like when recently Kim took, like they like rented out their childhood home and then like made it back like the old days. I think it was on like last season or 2 seasons ago. And
to be honest with you, I didn't watch that, but yeah, I've been neighbors of when they were kid. Not when Kim was a little kid. Chloe and my daughter were in the same school in the same class. So and I also, when I used to fill in for Regis, remember Regis and Kathy Lee?
Yeah.
So I used to fill in, and I used to work with Kathy Lee and became good friends with Kathy Lee. Kathy Lee's best friend is Chris. So we would all go to dinner. That's years and years and years ago. I remember Kendall and Kylie were just around the time that they were just born.
Wow. Now, is it hard for that to get them? You said they were in right away. But just like my interpretation of the Jenners and Kardashians from afar, obviously, is that they're like very focused on their brand, and this brand is obviously making fun of them. So they were just not making fun of them.
It's not, and that's the key. Here's what it is. They do have, and people wouldn't know that, they do have an amazing sense of humor. And to have a sense of humor, you got to be able to poke fun at yourself. They get it. They are really smart. I don't think you can listen, there's a million docu-follow series. Not all of them get the kind of success that they do. I don't think you can. I don't think that's an accident. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think they know exactly how they're portrayed, and they know how to market. And they're brilliant, actually.
It's brilliant. And doing this is just another example of how brilliant they are. Because the second I saw this, I was like, I was never not a fan of the Kardashians, but I didn't really watch the show. It's not made for me. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, they are awesome. Just being able to, because I saw when Kirby says, he says something like, everyone in my family does something important. My sister is a model. My sister Kylie, Chloe's tall. Chris does business. He's like, and I like to rollerblade. I was like, that's hilarious. And the fact that they're all in on this is so awesome.
And nobody laughs harder at that than them.
Right.
So just to know them, to really know them, they know what they're marketing and they know who they are and they know how they're perceived. And this would not be on the air if it wasn't for them. Kirby was doing it for years on Instagram, and he wanted to try to sell it. The key was when they met me is just putting them together with the Kardashians, because it was not going to sell without the Kardashians. It was not. What was beautiful about it and amazing about it is not only technically how he was able to usurp himself into their life and already the footage that already existed, but he needed to do that. Otherwise, if they said no to it on Instagram, they didn't have a choice because he just did it. But now to do a television show and do a production and put money behind it, they hold all the cards. They own the footage.
It's probably a little smart too, because then you can choose. Like you can go, oh no, you're not making that joke.
Yeah,
right? He can do whatever he wants if he's on Instagram. If he's collecting Kardashian paychecks, you go, I don't think so. That one's blacklisted.
But you have to know how open they were and how much fun. And even when they did show up on the set, they did things beyond the script. What if we do this? They know funny. Mm-hmm. They really do know funny. And go ahead.
Was there concern? Were you nervous about like jumping on a new platform with Quibi? Did you consider going anywhere else with it?
We didn't right away. That's the first place we went. I don't get nervous about anything. The unknown is, they were launching it. And at the time we were selling it, it just seemed like they were really aggressively trying to go after something different and something that hadn't been seen. And it was a really good business model for us as a company to be able, they paid well, and they gave us a lot of creative freedom, probably more than any other regular network would have given us. And they were just so excited to be in business with the Kardashians because, any one of them, has access to, 200 million people just on any of their platforms.
So many people.
I mean, what is that like where it's like you see something funny on Instagram or this guy comes to you, you take some interest in it, and you can be like, let me get the Kardashians, let me get Quibi. I mean, you're making shit happen, Howie. It feels like
I am. I did that.
I thought you could do anything.
But I like that even more than being on camera or on radio or on sound myself. I love the idea now, and I can't. Are you a little COVIDy? You just keep coughing.
No, you know what happened? You ever just swallow spit down the wrong tube and then it's just stuck in there? That's what's happening right now.
Nope, never happened.
You've never done that? You never just a little saliva hits your lungs and then you're choking for the next 10 minutes?
No, I've always practiced swallowing my saliva, and I'm really good at it now, and I've never made a mistake and it went down the wrong tube.
Fuck
I don't know how you choose.
Never. You ever think how it's weird to do little shots of saliva, but if you did a whole glass, it's gross?
There you go.
Think about that.
You know what I like?
And I'll always saliva in your mouth, but a little bit too much.
I hope if you guys have an idea, you bring it my way, because what I love to do is I love to, if I hear an idea, it's almost the package that makes it happen. I don't care about being on camera, and I don't care. Like at this point in my career, I love funny and I love interesting and I love different. And just because I've been doing it for 40 years, it's not that I'm that connected. I've worked with a lot of people because I've been around for a long time. So I feel like I have this perspective now where you say, here's what I want to do. This is a funny thing. Or I see Instagram, and it could be as simple as like I partnered with Instagram on, doing things, people. So animals doing things, morons doing things, drunks doing things. So I called them up because it was animals doing things. And I knew it was an easy sale. I go, guys, you're just living on here. Can I just take that? And we sold it to Nat Geo Wild. And now it's on, I think Disney Plus.
So that's
what?
Sorry, that's like a big part of your business is kind of just like finding things on social media and just having the eye.
finding things not necessarily on social media. I'm really interested in any kind of IP, any kind of it. I was at a studio for about 7 years producing as a producing company. And for the most part, they just want to try to sell linear television to networks and cable companies. Mm-hmm. And I started coming across like great ideas, which don't necessarily fit the mold of the half-hour show or a sitcom or, the docuseries. And I would go and I'd go, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we do these short, like 4-minute little funny things? And we could do that, and we could get branded entertainment. So maybe I can get like a brand to come on board so we can do this. And then maybe it'll be like kind of interstitial. I didn't even know at the time. They go, well, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. So about 7 years ago, I went out on my own because I live day and night on the internet and on television. My television's on 24/7. And even if it's not English, I don't care. I'm just so fascinated. I go, not now, but I go to clubs and see people do different things. And I'm always trying to figure out, oh, this is so good. I want to share this with people. Is there a couple of people that I can put together to make where can I do this? Where can I share this? Where can I,
What about
I have a facility in LA, and I bring together like even people. I have people that are technical geniuses that have come up with ways of doing things. Like I have a company right now that's in my office, but we don't have material for it yet. But real easy live real time animation, so they can create a character, and it could be fully manipulated, not motion capture. Fully manipulated and moved kind of like a digital marionette. You guys could voice it, and we can make a cartoon for almost no money, and it could be produced in hours, not in months, not in days. So what I love about that is that I'm a huge South Park fan, and one of the beauties of South Park and one of the beauties of the comedy is they can comment on what's happening now. When I did Bobby's World, and I'm trying to bring that back, when I did Bobby's World, I wanted to make comments on what was happening now. But at that time, when we had to do animation, it was all done in Taiwan, and it took 6 months. Mm-hmm. So if I made a reference to something that was going on, by the time I got it back and it aired, it was almost 9 months later. We couldn't. This is like real time. If something happened in the news today, I can have a fully animated cartoon about it tonight.
Woo. How about two average guys who record a podcast in a dirty studio? Is there a market for that?
There really is. You know that because you're getting paid to do it. But you guys are really funny. If you have something else that you want to do or you have some ideas, please, and all your friends, bring them my way. I enjoy nothing more than trying to figure out a new way to do things and to launch things. And we have at our fingertips.
We actually have a great idea. I'll be honest about that. We have an idea. We're not going to share it right now. We're keeping it off. We'll get to you off air, but it's a fucking good idea.
Okay, but when we get off air, I'll give you my personal. You could talk to me because I love nothing as much as I love everything I do and being on TV. My favorite thing is stand up because that's like in the moment, and I like to improvise a lot and get taken off the beaten path. But my favorite thing to do now is to hear an amazing idea that's not mine, and to kind of just people who watch Kirby may not even know that I had anything to do with it. And that's okay by me.
Because the check still clears, right?
Exactly, man. We need more Howies out there because nowadays people are
even more at this point, and this is going to sound a little altruistic and bullshitty, but the truth of the matter is, at this point, it's not even about money. At this point...
I fucking bet it's not, Howie.
It's not. No, I did.
Well, yeah. Listen, when you're on,
no, I was saying I bet it's not because you're killing it.
Yeah,
no,
when you're on season 65 of America's Got Talent, and the money's coming in for that, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
And that's exactly right. And because I can do what I want, and because I could say, hey, I won't even take a fee for this. Let's just put this together. There's some joy in saying, I think this is like the funniest thing I've ever seen, or the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And call a friend here and call a friend there and say, and that's why I ended up, I got 30,000 square feet of studio space in Van Nuys. When I was at a lot, I had to go, through hoops and rings just to say, can I shoot something? Is there any way I can get a camera? I just want to do it. You know, we shoot things every day and 99% of it doesn't work, you know, but that's how you know. I get to just play and it doesn't work and it's nothing. I thought that was going to be a good idea, but this is a piece of shit. And I love that.
You're either the best or worst producer in the world. It's like, we don't need money. Do whatever you want. I don't even know if it's going to get on the air. It's either the best or worst formula I've ever heard, Howie.
But that's the way to do it, because I think that comedy and whatever you're doing by collaboration and with a corporate overtone doesn't work. You know, I want to like break rules and have fun and do things that are different. And, you know, I like selling. That's, you know, I came from the carpet business and I did this. We talked about this the last time I was on. This was a dare to become a comedian. This isn't something I aspired to be, but what I learned, it's all selling. So if I can do something and find something that the world wants to buy, I like to do it. It's kind of like real estate. You know, if you can give me some property and I can find the best builder, the best bricklayer, the best roofer and things like that, and we could build a house that everybody wants to buy and move into, then that's the way to go.
Let's build a house with Howie. Howie's house. Let's go.
Speaking of houses, how stressful has it been doing interviews in your house? Just like, because you don't want to make, like, you don't want it to look too nice, right? Aren't like celebrities, you guys, I feel like after the Imagine people, when everyone was getting roasted, remember when that video Imagine went viral?
Yeah, I know. She tried so hard.
Like, their beautiful backyards and stuff. I feel like every celebrity we've interviewed since then has just been sitting in the corner.
But you don't like, I thought this was a good, beautiful part.
Oh, I think it's beautiful. I just think that you're selectively choosing this beautiful view. That's just like, with the walls right behind me.
I don't.
Why don't you turn the camera around, Howie?
Why don't you give us a tour, Howie? Show us your entire house. Let me see the bedroom.
I'm going to lose the bedroom. That's a long way from Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, we got to get in the golf cart to get to the bedroom, I bet.
Yeah.
Swing over there. I'm in the guest house right now.
Yeah. I'm just outside because I yell.
I mentioned it before, but how is America's Got Talent going? I mean, at that point, that must just be, you know, a easy paycheck, but also a lot of fun for you. You just know what you're doing.
This is the best season yet. I got to tell you, it really is. And people say that. I say it every year, but it really is. So, and also because it's the most interesting and toughest, exciting. And I'll tell you why. So we started out this season. This is season 15. And Heidi Klum came back, and she's an amazing, is a really good friend and beautiful, and you know, who gets paid to sit beside Heidi fucking Klum, and then yes, that's kind of a gig, you know, and not there's no preparation involved for what I do, you know. I just see a show just like you do, and then comment. I said I do everything on that show that. The first 4 years I wasn't on the show, like everybody else, I sit on the couch in my underpants and comment out loud. Now they give me pants and a paycheck, and I'm doing the same thing. And then Sofia Vergara is just stunning, funny, amazing, and just such a joy. And Simon and I are very close, and Terry Crews is great. So then we start the show, and there's great talent. And I figure the talent just gets inspired by the year before. Like somebody sees a contortionist, and they go, well, I can do that, but what if I hung upside down 2 stories in the air and lit myself on fire? And that's what people do. They keep pushing that envelope. But then what happened is real world. So up until last week, I think this coming Tuesday is going to be the first time you will follow the journey that we took. We started shooting about 17 days before the pandemic or the shutdown. And then came the shutdown. We're in the midst of shooting the auditions. And they said the first part was that we couldn't have an audience. So now we're in this cavernous theater and people come out and then they go, ta-da! And it's like crickets. But there's something that was harder for the acts than it was for us. There's something, and I think for the audience, it's going to be really like, kind of intimate and fun and the ability to focus, and it's different. And then Heidi Klum got sick and we freaked out. It turned out that she didn't have COVID-19. So then there were 3 of us. And then Sophia invited her friend Eric Stonestreet to sit in. So he sat in for a couple of acts, and that was great. And then they shut us down totally. We weren't allowed to show up, and we did some by Zoom. Very much, I feel like I'm doing an episode of AGT right now.
Very
and
Expert.
And then we don't know where the middle rounds are going to be. They just here in LA, as we speak, just opened up production, but I don't know what all the rules are. But we're going to start doing a middle round, and I don't know if what the answer is to audiences or anything. So I think like through the eyes and the lens of, I think we're the one show where you're going to watch that journey, us go through the journey that everybody has gone through. Whereas other shows, it was a certain way, and now you watch it and they're just on Zoom. But you're going to watch step by step. And then this week, my golden buzzer is something I'm really excited about. I finally pressed the golden buzzer to somebody for some act that has never been portrayed on our show before. And it's not a singer, it's not a dancer, it's not magic. It's something different. I'm really excited about that. And I think that comes up this week. When does this thing air that I'm talking on right now?
This week.
It'll probably be next week. Yeah.
Dude,
After. So wasn't I great last Tuesday?
I mean, it's literally the show must go on. So that's pretty cool to watch it all unfold.
If I came out, and I would rather come out to 100,000 fans than just you, Simon, Heidi, and Sophia. If I came out and saw that, I'd be like, never mind. I'm not.
Either way, you could do good or bad. It's going to be crickets. You're not going to get any reaction this way. You know that for sure. That's intimidating.
I don't have the confidence.
But it's just about the act, and it's just about what you do, and not what I liked about it, to be honest with you, I can't tell you how many times an act has come out on AGT in the normal days, has come out on AGT and they start to sing or they start to do something. The audience is just so excited about being there and seeing this, and they want to be, good cheerleaders, and, 4,000 people are roaring, and then the person hits a note. It's usually a singer. And then they go to their feet, and we could barely hear. And it's really hard to say, like, after everybody is so into this, I go, well, look, they loved you. Everybody loved you. This is really great. Look how you did with this, as a stand-up performer, as a stand-up comic, who gauges it? The audience really gauges it. And I can't tell you how many times I'm swayed by the audience reaction. And then I go home and you could hear it, clearly. And I go, what was I thinking? Oh my God. So it allowed us to be more, kind of myopic. We had like blinders on, and I could, if you're going to come out and sing, even if you're not going to get the applaud, or you're going to show me some magic, the trick is the trick. Right. I think that the laughter and the applause and is added, it's like eating a good cake without the icing.
Right.
Howie, what'd you get on your SAT vocab?
I never took an SAT. I don't have a GED.
No kidding?
Really? You never graduated high school?
You hit us with ancestral, ubiquitous, and myopic just in this conversation.
Oh, I did?
That's quite the vocabulary you have there, sir.
I like to read, but I don't. I did horror. I had severe ADHD and OCD even in school, and I acted up. We talked about some of the things that I did. On the I hired what's it called? What? Oh, I mean, just saying bye. My daughter's bye. We're social distancing.
How was she doing? Wasn't she blogging and stuff? Wasn't she doing something on Instagram?
That's the other daughter. So Jacqueline Schultz, you could follow her on Instagram. She's a vlogger. Riley, do you have anything you want to promote?
What's your TikTok? What's your TikTok, Riley?
Riley's not on TikTok. Riley is known as the secret sister. Riley is our one family member that has no desire to be on camera whatsoever. In fact, she's married, and we were just going through her wedding album, and there's not one picture of her. So she's just very shy and
Riley's Kirby Jenner.
Yeah, there you go.
Riley is our Kirby Jenner.
That's great.
You want to say hi, Riley? No? Okay. I was talking to me, not to them. You don't even want. Love you too. Bye-bye. She's leaving.
Well,
she's a physical therapist. But
I've been going to PT. I started PT in quarantine.
What?
Why? What's wrong?
I got a bum shoulder, Howie. It's real tough. I get
Who could help you?
Taped up. I do a lot. I just did my exercise right before going to the gym. What
she does it on Zoom now. She has to do it on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. With her patients. Massachusetts, we can go. So I go. I have to wear a mask the whole time, but I can go.
Yeah. My son just went to get a haircut in this quarantine, and he shaved his beard. He shaved his head. He's got a long beard. Alex Mandel, if you go look at him. And he goes to this barber that he likes, but the barber it's one person at a time. And he went there, they cover the seat with paper. The barber is wearing a mask and a shield and everything. But then when he wanted to get his beard trimmed, he took off his mask, but just to one side. So the guy shaves him like this. Then he hooks that up. And then it's the other side. And he shaves him like that. And then he has to hold it over his mouth while he does his mustache. And then he holds it. But if you go check him out right now, he kind of looks like, the pictures that he put up look like a before and a before. It's on my Instagram. I put my son up.
Well, I love it. The Mandel family. You're a modern day American success story, man. From no GED to millions of dollars and 1,000 shows. Producer of Hollywood, great production. I mean, you're special, Howie.
I feel like I'm really lucky, and I feel that I work really hard, and I'm really proud of my kids who actually work really hard and have careers of their own. Sons, me. The one that's the blogger, Jackie, is an inner city school teacher, who taught in South Central LA and Crenshaw and East LA. Now she has 2 kids of her own, so she's at home and she's locked in. So that's what she does. So she's still vlogging, and my kids are great. I've been really lucky, but I work really hard, and hopefully I stay lucky, and I hope everybody stays healthy and safe. That's all I want. I wanted it for me most of my life, but now I want it for everybody.
Well, let's hope, man. We really appreciate the time as always. You can catch Kirby Jenner on Quibi and of course America's Got Talent season 15. And who knows, maybe something that we produce one day. We'll be.
Let's do it. When we get off of this, DM me on my Instagram.
I will. We got something for you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Howie. See you, bud.
Bye.